Would you believe me if I told you that I didn't get my first adult passport until I was 31 years old? Well, it's true. As much as I love to travel, as much as I do travel, a bulk of that traveling did not occur until my 30s. So if you're someone out there that's on the fence about traveling, or maybe you feel like it's too late, it's not. It really isn't. And the more I travel, the more creative I get with it, the more I realize I don't need too much time. I can just go for 48 or 72 hours at a time, and you could get creative with how you do it and how you travel. I'm going to do a part 2 talking about all of the ballparks I've been to here in the US. If it shocked you to know that I didn't get my passport until 31, just know that it's not too late. This cost me I think at the time, like $120. Now it's $130. But you can also get a travel card that allows you to travel in North America. I'll put the link in the description below because I want you to do your own research, but that's what I got in my 20s. I had the travel card to allow me to at least go to Mexico. Because if anything, if all else fails, if I can't travel the world, the least I can go to is Mexico. But that card allows you to travel in the US, Mexico, Canada, the Bermuda, I think, and the Caribbean. So you get a lot of places with just that one card, and it costs about $30. So if you're holding yourself back thinking like, oh, passport's too expensive, get the passport card in the meantime. That's what I did until I actually got this book. But once I did, the first place I went to, because I got invited, was to India, a place not on my travel card. And if it was probably at the very bottom. So the fact that it was first, again, I was pushed out of my comfort zone when it comes to traveling for long extended periods of time. And it was to a place so foreign and out of my comfort zone. Didn't speak the language, never been out of the country. We didn't have any places to stay. We booked everything at the last minute because everything was at the last minute. But I was with people I love and trusted, so that made it a lot easier. And I'll definitely talk more about people you should travel with, how you should travel, because even before I got my passport, I did a lot of traveling here in the United States, especially throughout, the west side of things, LA, Nevada. I've taken road trips. I've flown to Florida, New York, DC, and I definitely want to get into, I'll do a second video about all of the ballparks that I visited, because you could make travel fun. And if leaving the country or the continent is not in your budget or on the timeline right now, get creative with what's in front of you. And this 40B40 project is a part of that journey, is getting to know my city, San Francisco, even better, because it is changing and it does get a bad rep, right? I talk about trying different places, whether it's food, drinks, stores, just being able to support local is important to me. And that's something I think I overlooked with all of the travel that I have done in such a short time span, because I think I just took for granted the fact that, oh, it's there, it'll be there. We all realized after the pandemic was a lot of our favorite places got shut down. So now, fast forward to 2024, and as I'm doing this project, I realized, okay, I still want to do a lot more traveling, get more stamps, but it's also okay to just make a trip out of what's in front of you. Explore the city that you live in. What are the cities surrounding that city, or the counties? Are you a beach person? Are you a fall person, a winter person? Your travel doesn't have to look like my travel, because I know a lot of people on Instagram, want the floating homes in the middle of the ocean or the yachts, but maybe you're just not a water person or a beach person. That's okay. I don't like to hikes. When we're on trips, I travel with my best friends, and when we're on trips, I do it, but it's not without complaining or arguments. I don't like to hike. I don't really like doing too many things. are physical. Anything that does not involve just laying on a beach tanning, I'm gonna be pretty resistant to it. But somehow, some way, I end up doing it. Next thing you know, I'm waking up on the top of a volcano in the middle of Guatemala. It's just the way life is. But sometimes, you know, when you do travel, have an open mind, be curious, do things out of your comfort zone. But if you know there's going to be a lot of walking, that's one thing I always encourage people to do when they travel, especially out of the country, is to always have a comfortable pair of shoes. Get your steps in before you travel, because you want to get your body acclimated to moving more so than you would here at home. And it's exhausting. And that could be the difference between you getting an entire day out exploring or your day getting cut in half because your feet are killing you or your body is sore. Believe me, I've experienced both ends. For now, I think travel is so key. It's important. And getting a passport, I'm so grateful that I did. I'm so grateful that I have people in my life that value traveling as much as I do. And believe me, I have had friends that I traveled with, and then you get there and they're a monster. But I was so oblivious and just wanted to be a good, kind person that I thought, well, you know, maybe they're just having a bad day. Nope, because then you take a trip with them again and they're double a monster that they were the first time. And as I've gotten older, I've learned that you just can't travel with everyone. You can't, like, not everyone you know is going to be your travel buddy. And I am fortunate that all of the friends and the family that I have in my life right now, I can travel with. But it doesn't mean that I won't meet new people that I'll have to learn their travel ways and they'll have to learn my travel ways. You just have to keep an open mind. And it might, you know, it might make or break some friendships and relationships. There was this one trip. It was a Vegas trip. It was a bunch of us for my friend's husband's birthday. He's my friend too, but just for some context, it was her husband's birthday and we were all just going out to Vegas to have fun. And I was like, oh, can I invite so-and-so? So I did. And the moment we got on the plane, this is how far back it was. And I should have listened. I should have paid attention to the red flags at that point. But we were all sitting in the same rows, 3 of us. And I'm in the middle. We all got our drinks. And at the time, I only drank ginger ale on flights. But somehow, some way, our drinks fall and end up wetting her phone. And remember when I told you, like, this person turned into a monster? Yeah, she turned into a monster. And mind you, this is my friend I invited into my other friend group's trip. And they had all met, but it was more so like, but now we're traveling. This is not like my birthday party or a random happy hour. This is a vacation, a trip, overnight. And from the flight, like we weren't even in the air for like 30 minutes and that flight's like an hour. 30 minutes into the flight, her phone gets damaged. It's a BlackBerry. This is how much I'm aging myself right now and how long ago this was, but her phone gets wet. She makes the entire trip about her and her phone and how it's damaged and how she needs to fix it. So anytime anyone had fun, she would bring up how she doesn't have a phone. And mind you, this was before camera phones and videos. So it's like, what do you need your phone for? Like, there's nothing happened. We're in Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Every moment of the trip, and we're only there for 3 days, she made every second about her and her phone. Long story short, she pretty much made the trip. We had fun regardless, you know, especially when she wasn't around. But she made the trip miserable. And we still talk about it to this day, how I should have recognized that as, you know, a red flag, because her and I are no longer friends. And it just got progressively worse with each and every year that went by. And we took a couple other trips and just, she would constantly just be back. Okay, this is turning into a separate video I'm gonna do about friends. So stay tuned for that video. But what I'm getting at, because I almost went off. My mind went back to those times in my life. But what I'm getting at is when you travel, you're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to learn a lot about those you travel with, whether it's family, friends, strangers. And are you the type that needs an agenda? Or are you someone like myself that can just go with the flow? I don't mind having an agenda. I don't mind participating and contributing to say, hey, look what I found. Are you guys open to doing this? And then you also have to be okay with exploring possibly by yourself. And then we come together at the end of the day. You don't have to do everything all together. You also don't have to separate yourself from the pack as soon as you get there either. I think it's okay to do a mix of both and to communicate when you're annoyed or when you're irritated, because maybe it's just you're uncomfortable, you're hungry, you're dehydrated. There's a lot of factors that can change your energy and your vibe when you are traveling. So just make sure you are all communicating that with each other, because it will make for a better trip. And as I referenced in that first story about the person whose phone got damaged, which I felt bad. We all did, but I didn't feel bad enough. I didn't find it acceptable for her to make the whole trip about herself. So I know I kind of went all over the place, but traveling is fun. Some places that I've been to over the years,